I'm Kyle Tucker, owner of GearFX Driveline, and I try and stay out of the guys' ways. I'm like the crash test dummy for these guys, I think. That's my main job.
My name is Jeff Fuzzy Horton. I'm the general manager for GearFX Driveline in Mooresville, North Carolina. We're a high-performance aftermarket driveline company. Originally, we were C&R Racing South, started in 2005. In 2018, Kyle Tucker, the owner of Detroit Speed, purchased us, and we're now GearFX Driveline. We mainly started out in NASCAR driveline systems, but since our change over to GearFX Driveline, we're starting to focus more on high-performance aftermarket.
Detroit Speed started almost 20 years ago, and as we evolved and grew our product line, you get into other parts that you need to provide the customer, and as you get into rear suspension, if our sales guys are doing their job right, and they do, they upsell to a rear suspension, maybe rear brakes, wheels and tires past our suspension. But the problem starts when you start selling a rear gear. You know, it's always that perfect scapegoat, it seems like, when you would sell somebody a rear third member assembly. It would always come back noisy. So it was always a part that we bought from another vendor at Detroit Speed, but it was sold through Detroit Speed. So the customer knew, yeah, I bought that from Detroit Speed, I've got a problem, I'm gonna take it back. And of course I took it back, paid shipping both ways on a 80, 90 pound chunk of steel across the country, and did that a few times, and would always bring it to Fuzzy and the crew to fix it. And that's really how the relationship got started, was I trusted Fuzzy and Rob and the guys to make it right on the rear gears, whether it was a 12 volt or a 9-inch, either way. When the opportunity came about, when C&R South was becoming a part of PWR and there was a transaction that was available here, an acquisition was available for the old C&R South, I saw it as an opportunity. It was, I think, best said that it's an underserved market, right? The rear gear business, and especially in the performance street world. People want all the performance. They want as quiet as their Mercedes or BMW that they may be driving through the day. And it was an underserved market to be able to have a quiet performance gear in some of these high-end street cars. So I saw it as an opportunity and took that chance with the guys at C&R South. And we just wanted to kind of have a clean start as we were reshaping kind of the direction in the core business. We named it GearFX Driveline because it's still NASCAR related, still racing related, but we're growing that performance street side where I saw a big opportunity. We all learn from racing, you know, I mean, you don't get a chance to do it twice. You get a chance to do it right the first time. Anybody involved with racing understands a sense of urgency, you know, the perfection that we all strive for. It's hard to get, but we all strive for it. And I think beyond just the business part of building the widget that you build in this industry, it teaches you a lot about business too. I mean, it's competitive from the racing side, we learn that. But I try and instill that into all our people at both companies is you've got to take care of each other. You have to be ready for the green flag. You don't get a chance to do it twice, and do it right the first time. You got to be passionate. You know, I've seen a lot of business people a lot better in business than I think I am. I'm a student of business every day. You've got to be passionate about the industry. Racers will always be racers and find a way to get it done, whether it's a way to run a business or to find that next product that you think you can do better on, and that's always been me. I've learned so much from racing, but you've got to be passionate and you've got to have a lot of grit because it's a lot of ups and downs, and you've got to be okay with taking some risks and getting back up after you fall down and doing it again. The industry will always evolve, right? You think, how can race cars become any more sophisticated, any more expensive, or any faster? But we do that each year, right? The guys are finding ways to go faster, and there's always that new technology that I think blends between the race world and the OE world. There's always something new that makes it faster and easier and better to drive. Cars are safer and faster than they ever were in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And there's more and more of that technology that we'll chase and bring into the world, the aftermarket world, in the next few years. And I think sometimes you have to just stop when you crest the top of a hill and look at what you've done in a business and see the products on your website. And sometimes it makes me tired thinking about where we've been and what we've done. But it's very proud to me to be serving an American customer with an American iconic vehicles, the Camaros, the Novas, the Chevelles, the Mustangs, all of that built with American hands and American engineering and American manufacturing. To me, it says a lot, and I'm very proud of that. PRI was, it's just what you do the 1st of December is head to the PRI show. So as we all know, 2020 is kind of off the rails, and we're dealing with it as we wake up the next morning, see what's next. But I do miss everybody that we would interface with at the PRI show, and racers to friends to just everybody interact with, customers and dealers, and swap stories, talk about what we did right and wrong this year and what we're going to do better next year. And I miss all that camaraderie, just like missing the days at the tracks and things like that this year, and miss Indianapolis. I love downtown Indianapolis and just what PRI does for us as an industry. I'm Kyle Tucker, and I am PRI.